Hi friends, welcome to my humble homestead and garden side chat. If the sale of this product has been banned in my state and many other states, why have I searched for it for so long, and why am I purchasing it and using it in my diet? Raw milk. Many of you who have followed my channel, followed me on Instagram, have known that I have been looking for raw milk for close to 2 years since I've lived here in my homestead in North Dakota. Why? Why am I looking for raw milk? I personally don't even really like milk. I don't drink milk. I don't like it. However, there are some great benefits to raw dairy. Why is grass-fed milk, raw milk, better for you than just going into your local store and buying milk? It has a positive influence. Not only is it super nutrient dense, but it increases some of the beneficial nutrients such as omega-3, polyunsaturated fatty acids, vicinic acid, and the CLAs. Just to look at why I choose to drink raw dairy, let's look at why most people choose to drink pasteurized milk, or why they choose not to drink raw dairy. So during the mid 1800s, milk production was from very undesirable conditions, which led to poor quality milk and even spread diseases. So it is really important to know where your food comes from. I am a big advocate of supporting your local farmers, but you want to know how they treat their animals, what kind of conditions they have on their farms. I know, for me, I love that they have their animals grass-fed. When they're out to pasture and they're able to graze on the grass, they're happy, they're healthy, they're not cooped up in these little, barns with just tons and tons, and they're just, fed grain. They get to live their best life. And God gave us these animals to feed us. And so as long as we give them the benefits and the best life, then we can get the best nutrition out of them. That's why I'm a big advocate on, if we give our body what it needs and what it's supposed to have, God has designed our bodies to heal itself. That's why many people who are even dairy intolerant, what did they say? Something like lactose intolerance has increased drastically in the last number of years. I think they said 40 million Americans are lactose intolerant. One study shows that 80% of people that are lactose intolerant can ingest raw milk. So is it the answer? Again, we want to remember that not all food comes from 100% reputable people. So we want to make sure that we do our research. I've even visited some of the farms where my food comes from. I research, I talk to them, I meet them. I know how they treat their animals. That's super important to me. And, we do the best we can with what we have. Look, for 2 years, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a herd share. That's the way that they do it in North Dakota. You can't just go into a store, or even I've looked at co-ops. You can just do a research and see if there's like a herd share in your area, which basically you put like a deposit down. Like, that's a lot of times how it works. So you can look for herd shares. You can look for farmers that sell raw milk or have dairy. There are different options. But before then, I just waited for organic milk to go on sale at like Costco or Walmart or Aldi, and I would stock up, put it in the freezer, and that's what I would make my yogurt with. So we do what we can with what we can get. I'm super excited that I was able to find raw dairy, and so I'm going over the benefits, why I'm choosing to drink and to use a product that some people are questioning why it's banned. Some people are saying it's bad for you. There's bacteria in it. So I'm going over why. Basically, in the mid 1800s, when people didn't have the best condition, even some people, to increase the production of product they had, they even added plaster, or they added different contaminated harmful pathogens that caused a lot of foodborne illness, to try to increase the production of milk, or even to change the color. I know even today, skim milk, they add unnatural things to make the skim milk white, because when you take the cream off the top, the regular color of milk is a bluish tint. That's just natural. So in 1862, Louis Pasteur invented the concept of pasteurization, and not cows out in the pasture either. It was just using heat-resistant pasteurization to kill off harmful pathogens. But even moving forward, that didn't even kill off all the harmful pathogens. Following World War II, from 1944 to 1946, there was a big outcry that raw milk will sicken you or even kill you. So Ladies' Home Journal and Reader's Digest, they started coming out with these articles like we have to ban it, and legislation then forbid the sale of raw milk. And it first started in Michigan, then it went to like Chicago, and then it started spreading. And why I personally choose to use the grass-fed, not only are the cows healthier and happier, but grains can actually reduce the CLA levels, which are cancer fighting. We find these good fats in the highest level in 100% grass-fed animals. So CLAs also have been known to help with weight management. I'm always great with that as well. We definitely understand that our bodies need healthy vitamins, minerals, and healthy enzymes that are in raw milk. An example to consider, the phosphate enzyme naturally in milk is killed during pasteurization, and this enzyme aids the body in digestion. Besides other enzymes such as amylase and lactase, which help digest the milk sugars. For hundreds of years, raw milk has been considered a healthful source of easily digestible nutrition. Cow's milk is hard to digest. Perhaps this is due to the common treatment of it prior to being consumed. Removing 60 plus enzymes are found in raw milk that may be needed for digestion. Remember the importance of the phosphorus enzyme. So during that heating pasteurization process, a lot of these enzymes are killed and depleted, which, if you have heard people talk about dairy being hard to digest, people being dairy intolerant, that could be a benefit of raw milk. Doctors have treated many conditions such as insomnia, stomach ulcers, diabetes, edema, constipation, tuberculosis, and gallstones with raw milk. Also, some have treated indigestion as a medical cleanse. And now in recent times, people are using raw milk fasts as a treatment for Lyme disease. And quite surprisingly, raw milk is at times used for weight loss. Some folks use raw milk along with other foods, and do take note that it is very nutrient dense. But is it safe? Everyone needs to make that choice for themselves. Understanding that food does have the potential of making them sick at some time. For instance, when I bring my raw milk home and I make yogurt or I make butter, like what you're gonna see, did it turn out? Also, I wanna make sure that I'm putting it into sterile containers. So how are we handling that raw milk? Where is it coming from? It's super important that we're using a clean environment ourselves, and that it's coming from a clean environment as well. We want to do our research, and we need to make that decision for ourselves. We want to make sure that we're getting the best possible proteins and fats, minerals, vitamins, along with the alkaline phosphates, enzymes for your health. All right, so this is why I had chosen raw milk. I have some cream, real cream, not coconut milk, in my kombucha coffee. It is delicious. I don't even like milk, but guess what? I had a little glass of milk before I went to bed last night and I slept amazing. Ice cold from the fridge. I actually enjoyed it. I was like, how do I like this? I don't like milk. So it's amazing. It's all for my health, trying to get the good nutrients, the good enzymes. I'm trying to get what I need for my food, help my body heal. So now let's see what I did with this milk. What worked? What didn't work? What am I going to do different next time? Here we go. Today, I want to share with you that I finally was able to get raw dairy. I've been looking for a long time. I know I've asked many of you if any of you are familiar with being able to find any in North Dakota. I found some. Let me bring you down here. So what I'm going to do today is I got 2 gallons. So what I'm going to do, if you can see down here, is just cream. So I'm going to take the cream out of both of these gallons. I'm going to put it in my blender and let it sit to get to room temperature. I'm going to make some butter. And then I'm going to take, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do a whole gallon or a half gallon. Let's see how much will hold in my Instapot. And I'm going to make my yogurt. And then the other one I'm going to keep in the fridge and use it for recipes and things like that. So that is what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and see if we can get the cream out of here. I am super excited. I have never made butter myself, but I have watched some fellow YouTubers who do it in the blender. I've seen people, I don't have a butter churn. I see people who do it in the KitchenAid, which can be done. It is a bit messier that way. So I'm going to try it in the blender and see how that works. And basically you're skimming off the top of the cream. There'll still be some cream in here. So I'll just mix it up. So it won't be full fat milk. It won't be whole. It'll be more closer to like a 2%. This one will fit in here. And I am excited to make this, and then I'll use the buttermilk for recipes as well. And then I will make a pot of yogurt, and I am going to make the yogurt in my Instapot. And she does grass feed all of her cows, so I did ask her about that. That's kind of important to me. So now this is as much cream as I got. I'm pretty impressed with that. So this is very cold. So I'm going to let this sit till room temperature. And then I'm going to take what's in here and I'm going to put it as much as I can into my Instapot. Let's see here. Without making a huge mess. Ooh, I think I'm going to get it all in there. Yes, I'm going to make a whole gallon of yogurt. So if you can see there. So I am going to do my yogurt setting and let this get up to, I got to remember, I usually just do it till it beeps. I believe it is 180, and then I bring it down to 122 in an ice bath, and then I add my yogurt starter into here, which for me, I didn't have any yogurt made. I do have some organic yogurt in my fridge. So I'm just going to use a couple tablespoons of organic yogurt as my yogurt starter. And we will make some yogurt with some raw dairy. I'm super excited about that, everybody. And I will show you when we start churning the butter. See you in a bit. Okay, welcome back, friends. So here my buttermilk is just above room temperature. It's still, but it's not cold. So I grilled up some food. These are some Swiss mushroom brats and some steak and pork chops that I added the rhubarb barbecue sauce, which is amazing, everybody. I can link that video below on how to make that. So while the butter is churning in the blender, I'm going to put this food away for the week. I'm sorry that I got distracted and I forgot to show you how I do my yogurt. So my Instapot had it on boil on the yogurt setting, and once it beeped twice, I checked it with my thermometer. It was about 181 degrees. Then I put it in an ice bath and I brought it down to 100. It went to about 120. So usually between 120 and 122 degrees. Then I just took about 3 tablespoons of organic plain yogurt that I had in my fridge, and I mixed it with a cup of the milk from here. I mixed it up, then I poured it in here, and now I put it back on the yogurt setting. I set it for the full 48 hours, but usually I let it go about in between 12 and 24 hours till it's my thickness, and then I will strain the whey out tomorrow. So different things you can do with your whey. I'm probably gonna water it down and water my berry patch with it. But you can use it to make rice and soup and things like that. It does have a lot of nutrition in it, but it also has the carbs in it. So I am going to use it to water my berry patch that needs some little acid. Okay, so now I'm really excited to try to make this butter. So I am going to make it here in my blender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my blender to one of the higher settings, and I am going to let it go on high for a good minute until it starts to turn into like that whipped cream consistency. And then I will show you more. I'm not going to have you on here while it's blending. But while it's do that, then I'm going to put this meat away. So we'll show you each step as we go. Okay, so after about 5 minutes, it's looking kind of creamy. Still a little bit of liquidy. So I am just going to let it churn on low here. It's feeling pretty hot though. I might let it sit for a minute. My blender is hot, so I'm gonna give it a minute and then I'm gonna do it on low. We are gonna switch plans here. So my blender feels hot and I don't know why. So I am going to do this the KitchenAid. I've also seen it done in the KitchenAid, and I'm gonna look up why my blender was getting hot. See if there's something wrong with the blender, or if it was just not able to handle this cream. So let's get this going. I'm gonna grab a towel so it doesn't splatter all over, like this. And then I am going to turn this on. All right, now we are going to let this churn this way. This is real life, people. We are gonna see how this works. And I'll come back and show you the progress we make. So, ixnay on my blender. Hi friends, welcome back. So it is the next day on Sunday, and I'm going to go over a little bit of progress report with you. So I went from my blender back to my mixer, back to my blender, and I kept going back and forth. And then I decided to put the cream into a big mason jar and do the shake method. Like this, to try to shake it into butter, and I could not get that cream to turn to butter. So I reached out to the person that does the herd share, and I was like, how do you get it? She has a churner. So I watched everybody that I know on YouTube that makes butter, and I just decided, you know what, I'm not gonna waste it. I'm going to put it in a jar, and I'm just gonna use it as cream, and I'll use it in my kombucha coffee. Then I decided watching, and I was reading like, why doesn't it turn out, and kind of searching it. And a lot of our people said if it's too fresh, sometimes if it's too fresh, it just isn't a good thing. And mine was like super fresh, like that day fresh. So I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it in the fridge overnight. And then when I did, the top of it was all like hardened into cream, and I thought, let me see what I can do. So I took that top off and I put it in this little jar and I started shaking. And let me show you, sure enough, it's turning into butter. Funny thing, and you can see the buttermilk is separating. So I'm going to shake this for a little bit more time, and then I'm going to separate the buttermilk out and rinse it, and I will have this amount of butter. Then I thought, let me pour the other thing, because I was watching Homesteading Family, and she just puts it in her KitchenAid. She brings it to like 61 degrees, puts it in her, and just leaves it on low for like a really long time. So I thought, well, I'm just going to do that. Fine, if this does not turn into butter, I will use it in my kombucha coffee. I thought that is going to be delicious. Let's go with that. Next time, I'm going to let it sit out like on the counter. We're going to try it that way. But for now, I'm going to shake this a little bit more. But I wanted to, let's check out the yogurt. So let's see what the yogurt's doing. Oh yeah. So my yogurt, of course, I kind of knew that was going to turn out. But let me show you Look at that. That is amazing. And this is after 16 hours of sitting in here. So then what I do is I just take my strainer and I line it with coffee liners. You can use cheesecloth if you have that. I just personally, I have a bunch of coffee liners and I don't have a regular coffee pot. I use a Keurig. So this is what I use them for. I'm going to strain my yogurt in here. Then the whey will come out in the bowl. And I have a bunch of whey in my freezer that I've saved. If I want to, you can use it to make rice. You can use it as water replacement pretty much in anything that you cook just because it has a lot of nutrition in it. But for me, because I have whey and I don't use it a lot for just myself, I'm going to take the whey from here and I'm going to mix it, dilute it with water, and I'm going to water my berry patch with it because my berries, especially my blueberry and my elderberry, need some more acid. So that's what I'm going to do with this whey for today. So let me get on and strain this out, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'm just going to bring this over to the sink and strain it, and I let it sit and strain for quite a long time. I like it nice and thick like a Greek yogurt, and this is what I'm probably going to eat for the next couple weeks for breakfast. I like to put a little bit of honey in there and just have some yummy honey yogurt. You can add, if you make homemade granola, you could add fruit, you could use it in smoothies, you can use it in any kind of recipe that calls for yogurt, but it's that simple. You literally just stick it in the Instapot. You can do it on the stove. There's many recipes you can just do it on the stove and cover it with a towel and let it sit overnight, and it works just the same if you don't have an Instapot. But I've never had it not work in the Instapot, except for I did try coconut milk yogurt, and I have not yet gotten that to work. So if some of you know how to do that, you can let me know. But now that I can get raw dairy, I am super excited about this. All right, thanks for watching. You guys will see in a little bit. I will give you an update on this butter. It's a learning process for me, and thanks so much for coming along. So here's the progress. I have 1 quart of yogurt. I've got butter that is actually soft butter now because I had set it down after it had separated from the buttermilk, and then I picked it up and I started shaking it again, so all the buttermilk mixed right back in there. So that was totally my error, but this is soft butter. The reason why you want to take the buttermilk out is, number one, it's amazing. My mixer is still going here. I'm not sure if this is going to separate, but if not, that's okay, because I'll use it as cream. This is my first time, and I think I'm going to get it down the next time, but I'm going to use this as soft butter. The reason why you want to take out the buttermilk is because it lasts longer. I really have such a small amount, so it's okay. All you keto lovers, this would be perfect for buttered coffee. I'm going to use it in some recipes. It will be gone in a couple days, so that will be perfect. So also, I have a whole nother strainer full of yogurt, so I should get at least another quart out of that. So if I get more than a quart, I'll put it in some bowls in the fridge so 1 gallon makes a good couple quarts of yogurt. And then this is my whey that I'm taking out, and I'm gonna dilute it nice and dilute it and water my berry patch. Thanks so much for watching, y'all. Be blessed. Have a great day.